What up, man? It's been a whole week since I've
2?
seen you in
Oh,
person, but
yeah,
two
I guess
weeks
a
since
week,
we've
yeah. It's been a week.
yeah. Yeah, it's been a week. Yeah.
So we took off last week, Paul, because you came up to Minnesota and we went out and
You
did
would
some
have
fun
I
stuff.
mean, I was tired that weekend, man. I feel like I kept falling asleep. I mean, you'd think I was bored of you or something like that, but no, I was that I didn't think that plane trip in the early morning would beat me down as much as it did, but holy
I mean, you
cow,
guys
it
got up
did.
at like 3 in the morning to get on a plane to get here by, what, 8 o'clock in the morning or something?
Got there in our Mighty Ducks jerseys and I was just beat by then. I was already ready to go to bed.
You joked about that? I thought you were joking about that. And then we get to the airport and I was like, "Oh, they are both wearing Mighty Ducks jerseys." Okay.
Oh, you
I thought
didn't
you were just, like,
you
making a joke.
'cause I think I put it on and took a picture of it and, like, sent it to you, but
Yeah, yeah, but when you first
you
talked
s
about it, I thought you were joking, so but yeah, we had a week off, it was a fun week. You came up here, we did a whole bunch of stuff, we went to some waterfalls, we went to a candy store,
That
some
candy
steak
store was
places, some
cool. I
burger
mean,
places. We tried
I'm
Lion's
not a
Tap
huge
this time, so we talked about it last time with Dave Mays when we were chatting about In-N-Out Burger and Lion's Tap.
yeah,
You decided to go for the full home run of the messiest burger they have.
I'm regretting that just shouldn't still I mean, it was a good burger, but
Like, I
yeah,
told you, I'm like, "I only get a hamburger with nothing on it because it's just perfect the way it is with nothing on it." And you're like, "Okay, yeah, I'll get the double California that's this big, that's just, like,
with
full
bacon on it.
slice of the tomatoes," and I was just like, "That looks so freaking messy."
So I seriously thought when you said, "Oh, it's a they're small burgers," and I was like I'm thinking, "Okay, it'll be like, maybe a little bit bigger than McDonald's size patties," but the burger was actually bigger than I thought it was. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay."
I just said it wasn't a big, thick, dumb, blue s like, juicy burger. It was a modest burger that tastes really good, but, like, the slices of tomatoes were like this. There was like half a tomato in those things, and I've never seen a double California with bacon on a plate before. I was just like, "That's ridiculous." So, yeah.
D-Mogul, I think that's how you say your name. I've seen you around, like, in, like, Tom Buck's streams and in other areas. It's good to see you here tonight, bud. Um,
So, anyways, you
uh,
haven't had In-N-Out Burger, so you can't compare it to In-N-Out, but, that's my favorite place in Minnesota for burgers anyways, so anyways, Paul, we got a different format going tonight. Not our, super typical version of, Creator Camp. We decided that every few episodes that we're going to kind of spotlight kind of an up and coming channel or like new creators to YouTube
absolutely.
that are already doing really well and kind of we feel like need to share to other people. So looks like Say Park's in the chat here as well.
Yeah, Say Park, man. He remembers, all about, being a new creator. I mean, it's been, like, 3 years since he started his channel too, but, those I mean, I'm still a new creator. I don't know. I'm still trying to make
I
this thing
mean,
work,
we're all fairly new creators, Paul. Like I'm what, a
yeah,
year and a half in myself. So
and he's blowing up.
but there's
He's just
sometimes you
gonna
just see
destroy me.
certain channels that you kinda just already like, you see it, they have no subscribers, and you're like, "That channel is gonna do something good if they keep it going." And that's the kinda thing I wanna showcase on this platform every now and then, is kinda have a spot where we can bring in a person and showcase their channel. So, just so happens to be, it's a person who's been in our chat literally every week too. So, I met this
Good
guy
guy,
down
yeah.
in Texas at one of Sydney DeYoungson's, events. His creator coffee event, whatever. Um, Super cool guy, but I mean, he's been watching our show for a while too, so it was kind of a cool meetup for him, I'm sure, because he went to Sydney's thing. Plus, I got to kind of come in there and say hi to him, and it was I don't know how to say that any differently, I guess, but it was fun for me because I like meeting up with people that you only ever see on the internet or
Right.
talk to in
Hey,
chat too.
I love that's what I love about the YouTube community, man. You meet somebody new or somebody that you've been talking to through YouTube, and it's like you hit it off, and it's like you've been friends forever. I mean, like I don't know, kind of like you and I, man. I mean, we met the first time we met up. It was like, people are probably like, "You're crazy! You're flying all the way to Minnesota to visit somebody, like some
Well, I
stranger you
visited
never
you
met
first,
before." I'm like,
Paul.
Oh, you did? Yeah, you did.
I came down to Florida first, but I
That's
mean, that was
right.
also easy because I was just going to go to Disney regardless. So
That's right.
if I got down
Yes.
there and I didn't like you, I would have still gone to Disney. So
You would have been like, forget this
you would have
guy.
came
I'm
up here
going.
and you would have been like, I don't like this kid. You would have been like, now what? Go back to the Mall of America, I guess. I don't know.
Good. Hey, can you drive me to the Mall of America real quick? I just, yeah, I would get
Yeah.
yelled at though if we went to the Mall of America. At least we took her around this time. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, let's go ahead and we could talk like this forever. I feel like Shellda Art's just sitting there like, hey guys, are
Yeah.
you ever gonna bring me in here? I kind of want to be a part of this right now.
He's laughing right
So
now. I can see him backstage. So let's showcase. We got a new little slide, Paul. Let's show the segments live
yeah,
for.
I mean that's what.
Literally new creator showcase.
Literally the first to be on the creator showcase, man. What up, yo?
What an honor. There's no shoes that I can follow or fill now.
Well,
That's a nice looking light you got there, Shellda. Where'd you get that from?
I know. Yeah.
So, funny story. This light is actually the cheap Amazon light. It's not the one that I
it's
won
not?
from
Okay.
Sydney. No. So Amanda, my girlfriend, now has a YouTube channel from Sydney's meetups, and we had to bring that light upstairs so she could film today.
Okay.
So I got the cheap light today.
You had the hand-me-down, huh?
Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah.
I still
Gotta
use my
share
CP Amazon light, so I feel it.
Yeah.
I got all these nice lights, but I still use one. If you have it, use it, right?
Exactly.
I have
Yeah.
so many lights. It's kind of crazy. I might have to go purge my house pretty soon.
I say just carry the lightsabers around with you in the background. Those look great.
Well, those two, but yeah, I don't want to get rid of my tube lights. I'm a tube light whore. I want with a 4-foot tube so bad, but anyway.
You're just gonna have to wait till those Amaran ones are back in stock, Paul.
I'm gonna go beg Aperture to sponsor the show and send us in a bunch of them. But dude, Shellda Art, man, you've been very consistent, and I think it's a very good trait to have, especially when you're first starting. And the thing I love about your channel too is it's not like you are kind of niching down into art, but you're kind of like you're almost trying to make your people fall in love with you as the brand, because you're doing these like vlog style videos too, that your personality is really shining through your videos, which that's the first thing that I saw that I was like, dude, yeah, this guy's got cool art, he's doing something different than everybody else's, sweet, but this guy's personality is like top notch. Like you're just outgoing, you're exciting, I think if you keep letting your personality, like, you're not faking it. I know you're just being you, and that's what Sydney and all the guys talk about. Just be you, and you're gonna you'll build you'll grow your channel. You're gonna grow your brand, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So
I appreciate that.
It's cool.
Yeah, and then obviously your channel lately has been a lot of kind of vlog style stuff too, mixed in with. I've noticed that I feel like you already have more videos than I do. Like you're just I can remember, I just looked back at your stuff and I was like, wow, how far down do I have to scroll from the last time when I came down to Texas? I was like, that's like 15 videos ago. You know how many videos on my channel that was ago? Like 2.
I think I think if you take all of the shorts combined with the long form videos, I'm up to 66 right now, and I started on January 1st.
Wow.
And
I'm at 70 maybe. And I've started a year and a half ago, and so yeah, you got some content out there to plant it as seeds, and they're gonna hopefully grow a little bit for you. But so yeah, like obviously you have done a bunch of vlog kind of stuff recently, and you did some cool Coldplay concert things. But like your main kind of bread and butter there is creating art and creating these cool, like, I know you're making these like 12 by 12 like
abstract
enamel,
canvases,
shiny, awesome, like blown. I don't even know how you describe that style of art, but
people call it like pour paintings or like blow art. Like here's a longer one, a little bit bigger. This is a 10 by 20, I think. I really enjoy doing it. When I started, the channel, it was just to show off like the art and show off like that creation process. But then I realized I was just having so much fun with that whole process. I'm like, oh, let me try to do some vlogs too, because I want to be able to look back and have almost like a video form of memories. And so, yeah, like what you said, now it's, you know, tying in the paintings also with some vlogs. It's been fun.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that you're experimenting too, because like new channels, it's good to not just do the one thing. I mean, everyone says niche down and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Niching down's fun, but like niche down once you have like something there, like have
Yeah.
like even when you hit like 1,000 subscribers or 5,000, like people are still experimenting with what their channel's capable of doing, and so like maybe you end up like maybe a lot of people start following you because you're doing vlogs and stuff like that. Based on who knows, but
the little beach vlog I did from last week, that's like one of my fastest growing. It's my #1 video, I think, in terms of growth. And it was just a 3 or 4 minute, you know, trip to the beach.
Showing skin on that thumbnail, man, that's what does it. I'm telling you.
That's it, yeah.
I thought that was going to work with
bachelor body of yours, man.
Didn't really work.
My girlfriend was on the thumbnail too, so it's probably her.
Oh yeah, you're true.
Yeah.
Well, she's part of your channel too. So I mean, like, there's you know, like, I do a lot of my stuff by myself. I definitely have my wife help me at times, but she's in like vet school, so she's like super busy all the time.
Yeah.
But then when she's like on break, it's like I thought your video's done.
Yeah.
She camera, do whatever. And she's pretty good at... What's that, Paul?
I said she's like the perfect model. Like if I ever want to take a banger portrait, I just gotta be like, yo, Andrea, go pose for me in front of this waterfall or something, and, you know, boom, you know, I mean, God, good night. It's like she turns my portraits into. I just think you can build a profile off Andrea, man. The funny part about that photo is, if you don't the backstory, I took a photo with Kyle when he was there last weekend, and
I saw
and he posted it up on his Instagram if you want to go see it. But eventually I'll edit my own version and we'll battle it off and see who did a better job. But he'll probably win that one. But anyway, I was trying to call to my wife like, hey, can you come up here? And she's like down there, near closer to the bottom of the waterfall, like talking to a random dude, and she's like just chatting away. I'm like, all right, forget this. All right, Angela, let's let her. We're gonna go for this. You know, I said Andrea.
I was gonna say Angela.
Andrea. Yeah.
It's such a
Angela.
good photo.
Angela's my mom. Yeah. It's the funny part is, if you look at it, you might think that I added a sun ray or something into that, but that photo was like 100% like he just messed with the colors for that edit.
I tried doing
like
some sky replacement on that photo, and like the sky would go into the sun. I couldn't even get rid of that either. So, yeah, that was the only thing that was really altered in that photo. Is I took a person out of the bottom.
Right.
I just like photoshopped them out, but otherwise the rest of it's just basic adjustments in Lightroom. So
you got tough work.
I took the same photo with the 85mm lens, and I only got like her and nothing in the background because it was super blurred out with that lens, and it's way too close. So, but yeah, anyway,
I love the dang 24mm, man. Oh,
Amanda's obviously been like a big part of your channel as well. She does a lot of your B-roll and shooting. That's like, I still think that's like part of your channel is her as well. So regardless of, she has her own thing now that she's going to start doing. So
yeah, 100%. I mean, if I didn't have her, like I think the first painting video I did, I had maybe 2 camera angles. And when I was editing, it was literally A, B, and it was just, it got boring. But now I'll have like 2 or 3 angles, and then I have her use the A7 IV to get like all that movement and the zoom in and out, and it just adds a whole nother element to my art videos. And from what research I've seen, I haven't seen any other artists out there doing what I do, where they actually have someone else filming them creating. And so yeah, I don't think my videos would be nearly as cool as they are if I didn't have her helping.
It's definitely like YouTube is definitely kind of a platform, I think, for, unless you're like a really big channel, like you're doing most of your stuff by yourself, from start to finish, editing the whole 9 yards. So like people always say it's kind of like a lonely platform at times. And that's what's fun about that payoff when you see the results in your analytics, and because you feel like that's your reward to seeing your work that you're doing. And otherwise you kind of feel like you don't have a lot of that there because you're doing a lot of it by yourself, and that's the hard part too. Is because if you start getting like a little bit not as motivated as you could be, like in case like what I'm doing right now, like I've been not as motivated to pump out videos every week like I used to, and I would think having that second person there to help you push is also a good thing for that as well. So
Absolutely,
my wife pushes me a little bit too, but she also knows when to like not make it a thing. So
yeah, I mean the two things for me is like creating something with art. Like I've got to be in a whole different mindset. Like I've got to have that creative energy, and if I don't, I don't want to go do that. But the cool thing now is now that Amanda has her own channel, like you just said it, you're kind of alone in your own world. Last night we were both sitting on the couch with our Macs like back to each other with our headphones on, and it was just we weren't talking because we were both editing. So like even though you're alone, you're still there. And then we would just look up like, hey, you need any help? You got any editing questions?
Yeah.
So it's cool people to have someone to bounce it off of now.
I really enjoyed like editing for me has always been my least favorite thing to do. Like I like doing it if you have like there's times where you put like an awesome sequence together and you're like, that was awesome. And only my brain would have done that.
Yeah.
But then there was another part, like our old channel with my wife that we had. We filmed stuff. She edited everything, and I didn't even look at it until it was done, and then would color grade it, maybe adjust the audio or something. But from editing, picking the music, I didn't really do any of that. She was really good at it, so I was just like, this is perfect. And then when I can come in and just do the final adjustments, post it, and I like that's my like biggest hold up for me. I feel like a lot of times is I'll get a bunch of stuff filmed, and then I just get like really down about editing them all, especially when you have like 5 projects in the works. Then you're just like, I'm just gonna go upstairs and watch TV. You know, like it gets unmotivating to do that at times, and that's something I've been trying to get past again. And with this live stream too, it's like we're doing so much work with finding all the right clips for all the like game show stuff that we do and stuff too. That like it's like I get busy with this, and then I just like even less motivated again to work on my stuff because doing this platform, this live stream is like super fun and it's more creative, and that's what I was trying to do before with my channel, and I kind of got out of the creativity part and was starting to fall more into the like just reviews and trying to add that creativity in your reviews in the winter.
Well, I'm really excited about that camera video from the Kennedy assassination. That video. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's a video that I started to work on. I started editing, and then I realized I didn't have a lot of footage. I still have to film all the talking head parts. I didn't film enough there, I don't think. So I know Dave told us last week we should go back and reshoot some of that with actual 8mm film. Like he wanted to get involved with that, which I thought was kind of fun. So
there's a rumor there's another coffee meetup in July, so book your tickets now.
Why would I fly when I get to drive?
That's true, yeah.
13 hours does not seem that big of a deal when you leave at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like you get, all of a sudden you're like halfway there, you're like, I'm going to get some lunch. Then you drive a few more hours. Oh, I'm here. I want to go take a nap for an hour.
Wish I could do that. Jeez. Yeah.
I mean, I've sat in an airport, including the flight, that's taken more than 12 hours. So like to go like a few hours away. So driving sometimes is not a big deal. So
yeah.
I think the next trip I'm making though is Tennessee though. So we'll see. But yeah, so I had a clip about Paul. We were actually going to bring him in with a clip. We forgot because we used the segment clip instead. But let's just check out this clip. He did a cool video with the Batman when Batman came out. And let's check this out. So it was your Batman-inspired video.
Yeah, so like, see, if I didn't have Amanda helping, it would just be 2 locked-off shots, just cutting back and forth. So like to get all that movement, it's really nice.
That's D Mogul here. He said he wishes he had somebody to film with, a second person. It does. It helps so much. When I've visited Kyle and Kyle's come down here, it's it's almost like you want to go out and create something, and it's a lot easier to do so because somebody's able to. You're not have to focusing on like holding the camera or setting it up and like talking to it. You can, and you get that like little bit of like life and movement with the other person kind of really holding it, and it is it's a blessing to have somebody. So that's really cool that you both can work together like that and do that.
You also bounce ideas off each other, which is kind of, you like collaboration ideas and that. Like the video that we did with your lens reviews, I don't know if you would have done that video the same way, because I think you took some of my direction of what we should film, and then you had the kind of videos you do combined, and we kind of created something that was a little bit me, a little bit you, and shoots lost.
So before we get to that comment,
too much.
She probably hears me upstairs. Before we get to her comment, though, DM Mogul, I drive up to Dallas all the time. So, like, why don't you drive down to Austin and then we'll like do some type of collab? But back to that T-shirt comment. Between the both of us, we have lost so many T-shirts from either getting resin on them, which if you get resin on anything, like toast. But then also, like when I paint too, I'll sometimes get paint on my shirt. The most common thing for me is I'll get into my beard. It's like going to dinner and you've got like a big orange spot right here. It's not a good look.
I used to do like custom paint jobs on cars and stuff too, and you'd always get home and you just have like primer in your beard or something like that. Or
I thought you were having gray hairs over there, but
I did a white painting today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was a white background. I don't know if you can see it. I actually. I'm working on a custom order right now. You probably can't really see it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's actually for two YouTubers who I met through doing this. They travel around and they review like Airbnbs, and they're like, "Hey, we love your work. We want you to do a custom piece for us." So that's like the power of this community too. It's cool.
That was the other thing I wanted to go bring up to people who are watching too. Is you're new and you're already like growing your brand and have a nice storefront. I think that also makes it a lot easier for you because you're into art, right? Kyle and I, we had to make LUTs or something like that if we want to do something, but you are like selling art. And then the cool thing about that is when somebody buys a custom thing, then you do a video for it. So not only is the person that's buying your art getting a piece of artwork, but then they're getting showcased in one of your videos and get to see their piece of art come to life. And then they get to keep it, which is really cool. I think it's a really neat process. Have you been getting a lot of those kind of custom orders? Like, how often do have people bought these from you in the past? I know I've seen like 2 videos.
Yeah, I launched everything on January 1st. I launched my actual business on January 1st and this YouTube channel. And I think I'm averaging about 1 custom order per month. It's like I've got this one here, and then what I'll do is when that sale goes out, like I'll shut down the store or that order. And I'll wait till I'm done. That way I'm not, backlogging myself for months. But yeah, people love it. They love the video behind it because you're spot on, right? Like if you go to the store and, oh, I love this painting, you don't know the story behind it. You don't know the artist. You don't know anything about it. But now someone can go buy, a custom piece of art. And if someone's like, "Hey, where'd you get that?" "Oh, let me show you the video, like the whole creation process."
And then they're like, "Oh man, I want my own custom video for my artwork." Right? It's cool.
Yeah. So it's fun to be able to do that, and then I also get to like connect with the customer, the client, and what is your inspiration? Like, why do you want this? And then I get to go back and forth and learn. That helps me kind of get inspired before I go create something too.
So D Mogul here said a friend of his just passed away, and she was a painter, and she was 63, and her cousin gave her canvases and painting materials, and so he said he's gonna try his hand in painting on a canvas. So hey,
that's awesome.
You don't live too far away from Shellda Art. Maybe you guys can get together, and he can show you some tips on doing a canvas or something like that, and you guys can make a video out of it, or he can showcase you in a video, and then help you do a video of your own. Man, he's offering it. He wants it.
He's an incredible creator too. Like he has incredible work. So Yeah, come down to Austin, and I'll warn you. Once you start painting, like it's super addictive. Like once you start to see everything come to life, you just don't want to stop.
Is that? Sorry, I'm just trying to do some
Yeah, cool.
look
Thanks,
at
sir.
some stuff in the background here. So yeah, it's I'm trying to think. Is D Mogul? Was he at one of the creator events?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to find like his page so I can like actually see so I can recognize.
He was
Thumbnails are
in.
always tough to look.
Yeah, he was in. If you go to the last vlog I did, the Coffee and Creator one, I think there's a few shots of him in there. I think there's a few shots of him in Sydney's video too.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. I remember him. Yep. Oh, playing one of his videos.
There you go.
Well, actually, like one of the guys that's down there, I can't remember his name. Was the kid with the one wheel?
Slide Wreck Dan.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, you saw me when I was there. I was off the
Yeah.
wall, half asleep. But I ran into him at NAB.
Oh, really?
Like we ran into, he goes, "Hey, I recognize you." I was like, "Yeah, you look familiar too." And we're trying to figure out what it was from. And then he goes, "Oh wait, were you at Sydney's thing like a couple weeks ago?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh,
And,
wow.
so yeah, he went out to NAB in Vegas. So
That's what I love about that meetup is like there's a small coffee shop, right? Like 10 or 15 people, and then now you're connecting all over the country and the world with these folks. It's so cool. And I think 3 or 4 of the guys from that meetup like just all got together and they just filmed something that like they submitted for an award too.
wow,
Crazy.
I mean that's what's like. I'm glad that Sydney has that down there, and you guys have YouTubers all over Texas. It seems like because it's a huge state. Like when I'm up here, I feel like the only people I've found so far that are in channels like my niche is more like there's been like one person, and they haven't done YouTube in a while. Like they just kind of disappeared. They had this huge, quickly growing. I think they got to like 40,000 subscribers, and then they just stopped making videos. And so I don't know if they like are doing something else in the time being and coming back to it or what. But
Yeah.
otherwise, there's a couple makeup channels that I'm aware of, and a couple lifestyle things, and that's kind of about all I know of. And I wish I could. I wish there'd be some other. If I had like those kind of meetup things in Minnesota, like who could I find? It just I don't know if my reach is like obviously Sydney's reach is different than having his channel, but in his platform on Instagram and everything like that. So, but
Yeah, I
it'd be
mean,
nice. I'd love to have other people help you with what you're doing and where you can do those kind of group projects and stuff. So.
Yeah, I travel for it. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I love meetups, man. They're great. In Orlando, there's a lot of different creators. I just have never been able to get, met up with them. I think I have a big one down here, Dan Watson. He does a lot of Sony, Canon, photography and videography, like camera reviews. But I've never met him in person, so maybe one day. I know that I've messaged him back and forth, and we've talked about possibly getting together or something. But other than that, it's a lot of like photographers. But nope, I haven't been able to find like a lot of people who shoot video and do YouTube videos specifically in this area in our niche.
I know Disney has. I mean, not Disney. Orlando has a ton of Disney, YouTubers.
Disney people, right? Yes. Yeah, and I mean, the funny part
doing
was
more Disney stuff, Paul. Like I don't know.
I mean, I should. I have passes, but I was at Olive Garden the other night, and our waiter, I was like, "This guy looks familiar to me. Do I know him from somewhere?" So I'm like, I asked him, I was like, "Hey, do you shoot video by any chance, or are you a photographer or videographer?" He's like, "Yeah, I do. I shoot a lot of video." I'm like, "Are you a Sony shooter? Have you been to a Sony event?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "What?" He's like, I'm like, "I don't know. You just look familiar. Like I've seen you before." He's like, "I mean, I shoot on an Sony S2." I'm like, "You shoot on the 2? Wow, man. You would be jealous if you stepped up to the Sony S3 because the autofocus is like the 2 had like the worst battery life. The colors weren't amazing, and the autofocus was kind of bad on the Sony S2. It wasn't until like the Sony 3 where everybody started to, whoa, Sony's like taking stepping up their game. So anyway, so I gave him my card, and I haven't heard from him yet. But I've he seemed like a cool dude, so I'm looking for people to shoot with. There's another guy that he gave me my Wandered camera bag. He actually gave it to me because he's like he didn't need it or whatever, and I was like, I was talking with him. I met him because I saw him on the Facebook Marketplace, and I was going to buy it from him, and then I ended up getting a really good deal on this PGY Tech, and I never met up with him. And then he messaged me. We kind of stayed in contact. He messaged me one day and said, "Hey, I'm just trying to clear my house out. You want me? I'll go ahead and give it to you. Can we meet up and give it to you?" I'm like, "Sure." So we met up, and I'm like, we shot cameras a little bit briefly then, and I was like, we always are like, "Hey, let's get up and shoot some video," but we never get around to. It's like I feel like that's the trend around here. We should get together sometime, and we never end up doing it. It's kind of like
never hear from
getting guests on the show. Yeah, we want to be a guest on the show. We'll do it, and then we never hear back from people. Yeah. But it's life is busy, man. It's hard, but anyway.
Yeah.
Have you thought about jumping into Facebook groups? Because I know here in Texas, there's Texas YouTubers, and there's hundreds of people on there. So maybe there's a Florida one or even an Orlando.
I'm part of the.
There is an Orlando
channel, and there's 4 people.
That's got to start somewhere.
The 3 makeup channels that are there, yeah.
You can have your own makeup artist.
My ZV1 content to the makeup channel, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he did look pretty good in his makeup, video of the ZV1.
Yeah.
My own lighting video. We should show that at some point. Hey, Shellda, go turn to your. Let's see what. Yeah, that way. Keep turning your head.
Okay.
I didn't know you played for.
No. I get that. So I get Ryan Reynolds a lot more, but I think I look more like Sam Bradford.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. Especially
Ryan Reynolds.
Weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
you should
no
get
joke.
A video somehow find him because he's got to be doing. He's retired now, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
We should just get your channel big enough to where you can do an art project with Sam Bradford, and then just do all the colors of the teams he was on.
Yeah, I'll do a painting for all 17 of his teams he's played in the NFL for.
That's probably right. He's probably been on everyone.
Yeah.
That would be epic.
The whole Ryan Reynolds thing. I mean, come on. I'm a big guy. I'm not Ryan Reynolds. But I get that at least once a week. I'll get the awkward look from somebody like, "Hey, do you know who you look like?" I'm like, "Are you gonna say Ryan Reynolds?" Yeah. Oh my goodness, how'd you know? Oh, I get it weekly.
When I used to have long hair, I used to get Jared Leto all the time, and it was just this is before really anyone knew who he was. I mean, this is back when he was still mostly just 30 Seconds to Mars and some movies and stuff. And I was just like, I don't look anything like him. What are you talking? Just because I have long, dark, almost black hair, no, come on. But that's I don't know. Sometimes you just get that anyways, and. You definitely have more of the Sam Bradford look, but
yeah. Well, do you have any of his Vikings jerseys? Send me one, and I'll go with Sam Bradford for Christmas or Halloween.
If I find one in a thrift store at some point, I will. I mean, there no doubt they will show up at some point because all you ever see in thrift stores are all the jerseys from former players.
Yeah.
So, and
you know who people say I look like a lot?
A couple years. So, what's that, Paul?
You know who people say I look like a lot?
Ted Cruz.
I can see that.
I have a story
I can't
about
unsee it.
I have a story about that one, but I was gonna say Chris Hemsworth. They thought Thor. They almost casted me for Thor, but just didn't work out.
Totally see the resemblance.
They should. Well, I guess it probably would have worked more so in Avengers Endgame Fat Thor. Maybe they would have come to me for that, but
the COVID version.
But so going back to Ted Cruz. So funny story. There was 1 year where I was at a church playing. I did their music, and we had a comedian come in, and the comedian I was part-time on staff there, and the comedian's like, I was Bruce Bros. Looking through your church website, and I went to the staffing page, and I was amazed. I was like, no way, this church has Ted Cruz that works for, and he put up a picture of me and Ted Cruz's face right next to each other, and I was like, that's just hilarious.
And then he shaved. That was good. No, that's like that's a weird comparison, but I know that's what you're gonna say because that's what Dobo and everyone used to give you crap for.
Oh yes, yes,
yeah. But yeah, it's so Shellda, on your so far on your channel, it looks like you've kind of done a lot of the like blow paintings and the all enamel stuff. Do you do other style ones too, or is that kind of what you're into at the moment?
Yeah, that's really it. I started at some point. I think before I had my channel, I was messing around with doing like beach scenes and like having like 3D objects. But I noticed when I was starting to do that, like I was trying so many different things that like nothing was working. It was just nothing was coming out the way I wanted to. So I was like, let me just focus in on like one style and really hone in on that craft. And when I started to do that with the actual like the blow art and the pour paintings, I started to notice I could go in Japan like, oh, I want this look, and so it would start to come out that way. So I would eventually like to explore, other styles. One of the goals I think maybe for this year, maybe for next year, is I want to do like huge canvases. Like I'm talking, a monster one.
It's got to be expensive in enamel right there, though.
Yeah. Not only that, and I'm in. I don't know the size of this room, but like you need a big space to do that too.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. But eventually I'd like to do that.
You had I'm trying to load a couple pictures from your Instagram. I know that, like, you always get inspirations. Like, obviously, you got inspirations off kind of one of the Coldplay.
Yeah.
Was it the album covers or like a color scheme that they use a lot of?
So that color scheme was a little bit inspired from the album cover itself, but I was actually going to the live show, like being there in person, like seeing those colors. It's just something I won't ever forget. And that's where I get a lot of the inspiration from, is if I go somewhere, I'll see like a color that just pops and I'm like, oh, I need to use that like in painting somehow. And that's where I get like a lot of the inspiration from. So at some point, we saw Coldplay twice in one weekend 2 weeks ago. It was crazy. That's going to be probably my biggest painting here.
You're a Coldplay
next
nerd,
week
man.
or two. I am. This is a Coldplay inspired tattoo. They've got a pretty big spot in my heart for Coldplay.
I'm definitely more on the like heavier side of music fan.
I know you are.
But I mean, like music's music. Coldplay they're great artists and make very good songs, catchy. I had another picture. This one was kind of cool. And this one just kind of gives me like a lot of like oil and water vibes too.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite ones. That's right back there. Actually, it's on the lower shelf. Once it's right there. That's that one, and that's the Coldplay one too. So that's that one. That one was inspired. We had the ice storm here in Texas last year, like just everything froze over, and that was inspired from that. I know you do. So yeah, that one was inspired by that because I wanted to like capture some cold like blues and purples into it and kind of really get that vibe.
Yeah, I just kind of, I mean, I love how, like, are these like metallics that you have in there as well, or are they kind of just how they're hitting off the canvas?
No, so you're spot on. That's the tough part about like taking pictures of these and getting video, is they just don't do it justice because they have, a lot of them have iridescent colors too. So like depending how you look at it, like it'll change colors depending on how different light hits it. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to. Yeah, that's one of the reasons, behind doing the YouTube videos, is to try to capture some of that color change and to show the depth of it. But even then, like, it still doesn't capture until you see it in person. Yeah. Because every person that I've sold a piece to, when they get it, like I've been there in person while they've opened it, and they're like, oh, yeah, the picture you sent me is nothing like this. And so it's those reactions that just, it's so cool to do it.
I don't know if you could you would have to probably do something. You wouldn't have to be able to do the same kind of thing, but I would be fun to kind of see like candy painting kind of going on that. Like for me, like when I do car painting, candy is where you use like a metallic base coat, whether it's like silver or gold or something that's like a metallic, coarse metallic. And then you put like translucent covered like coat above it. That's what gives you that depth and that kind of candy color, especially when you put it in sunlight and stuff like that. I don't know if there'd be a way to do something like that with the like enamels and stuff that you're using, but you probably have to like airbrush it or something like that.
So like when I mentioned that I had tried different things and nothing was working, one of the things I did is I got some pigments and I would mix that into the resin. But like it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. But a lot of people, they won't even use like paints that they just use pigments and they'll mix that with the resin to get that like color you're talking about. So that's something I'll probably try eventually.
It'd be kind of cool to try. Have you ever tried like painting on like wood or anything else too?
No, but wood is something I want to do because I don't know if I can. So like, here's that Batman one. When you have resin on it, like this is heavy. Yeah, because the resin's solid. And so when you're doing canvases, it starts to bow in the back a little bit. And so I want to start using wood canvases so it'll be perfectly flat, and I won't have to worry about that.
Plus, if you really wanted to get into it, you could always like sand it down with like 2000 grit and like buff it back out. If you're comfortable with doing that kind of stuff, like I used to do that. I mean, obviously I paint car style, I do it all the time, but usually when you like cut and buff, like you'll screw up a bunch of stuff before you finally figure out how to do it right. So
one of the things, this is like the most painful thing in the world. So on this one, I did this a long time ago. This has 3 layers of resin on it. The first one I didn't have the ratios right. It's like it was really sticky. The only way to solve that is you have to take sandpaper and sand it all down. That way the resin grips to it. And it is the most painful thing just seeing scratch marks all over this. But then when you pour the resin on it, like it covers it all up and it all goes away.
Well, you got to start with 600 grit. You got to go up to 1200 grit. You got to go down to like 2000 grit. Yeah. If you really want to, you can get the 3M Trizac system, do 6,000 grit wet. Yeah, I did a table once where we sanded the table all the way down, like a nice tabletop, and I used automotive clear coat instead of enamel, which was stupid. Like we went through so much money in clear coat to get the right amount of coverage because it just soaked. That's the thing, is that wood's going to soak in a lot of paint. Yeah, but it'd be kind of fun to build on wood because you would have like a very solid substrate anyways.
We have a question from Kevin Cox here. He says, could you build some sort of solid tray to support the canvas?
Yeah, I'm sure I could. Or I could put something like under the canvas, like a piece of wood. That way it wouldn't bow. But even that, like, I'll try to show you again. It's been a kind of a work in progress. Like this is on, I don't know if that's in focus or not. This is a washer tray. And then everything is balanced on these pieces right here. So I try to get it all balanced. But yeah, I probably could do that. It's a good idea. Is everything all good now? Yeah.
Then you're going to be, if you make a piece like that, you're going to be stuck to that specific size.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Yeah.
So speaking about, grit and stuff, Kyle, where's the Macaroy? I mean,
I don't know. Should we go to Macaroy? I don't know. Is Macaroy here?
I don't know. You're the boss of him, aren't you? I mean, you kind of whip the guy into shape, don't you? I mean,
I just kind of assumed he probably knew that New Creator Spotlight wasn't going to have the Know Your Creator showcase.
Man, see, I've watched every single episode, and I've been like, I can't sleep at night. Like, I was hoping I would come here and meet, Burt in person.
Paul, we got to finish. I've been talking to that producer that's been trying to put together that documentary about Burt.
Oh yeah.
Did he contact you? We can kind of let that cat out of the bag. There might be a documentary in the future about the downfall of Burt Macaroy.
I mean, it's really touching and hearts. I mean, yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Burt Macaroy was a big-time game show announcer back in the 60s and 70s. It's just between substance abuse and all the women coming and going from his hotels. He kind of went rock bottom, and we've been asked to do a documentary about it. So
yeah,
that'll be coming down the road, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Burt's here tonight, Paul. I think he's gone.
Sorry, Shellda. I think he kind of maybe he got offended by you or something. I don't know.
It's okay.
You're
I'll have to come
famous.
back.
You're more famous than he is. I think. I don't know.
Let me see. Is he here? I don't know. We could check. Yeah, I don't think he's here. I'd see him in the chat if he was, right?
The chat, right?
Well, he logs in. I think he logs in, doesn't he?
Drunks for America. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it is.
He might be in
There's
class
something
right
that's
now.
on in the chat here, though. By the way, when I was saying, someone wrote, "Oh, it was probably Amanda, wasn't it?"
What?
What's this mean?
Custom orders are open on my website, Kyle. It would look nice in the background there.
Okay, yeah. I saw you one that you were going on sale the other day.
Yeah, I had a
kinda
huge
intrigued
sale
about
this
that
last
one.
weekend. Yeah, this when I hit 300 subscribers, I'm going to release this one. I'm super stoked about this one. It's all neon colors.
Which one is that? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I haven't posted too much about this. I haven't done the video's not live on my channel yet, but I actually did a short on this one, which I want to say thank you to you, Kyle. One of the things you told me when I first started was, "Hey, your content would be great in short form," and that's been one of the things that has helped grow my channel the most is doing shorts. In a lot of shorts that I do, I'll get like 1,000 views within a few hours. Some, won't hit, but the ones that do, they just go.
The shorts
Yeah, I mean,
views
if
are
you're
so weird how that works too. It's like you can have, like I've put up a few different shorts and like some get nothing, and all of a sudden you get like 4,001, and it's just like I don't understand this at all. But yeah, the art side stuff is definitely like that's like bingeable, like TikTok reels, shorts kind of content if you can make like quick content versions of that stuff.
Yeah,
and you could always like edit what you have down to like 30-second videos of like kind of working on something and with time lapses or quick cuts or something like that.
I've been doing the 15-second ones where I'll have like a blank canvas like right here, and I'll have a top-down shot, and then I'll do like a 3 snap, and then on the 3rd snap it changes to the actual painting. And I usually try to find a song so like that snap goes to the beat too. It's pretty cool.
Hold on, we're getting some weird audio here.
What?
From me?
I'm getting some like double audio all of a sudden. I don't know. Hey, Paul. Yeah, hold on. I don't know what just happened here. I think maybe Burt tried logging in or something. Is he here?
Yeah,
there's Burt Macaroy here.
Burt?
Oh,
Burt, buddy.
Are you
there?
there?
You're over there.
I don't think he's here, Paul.
Is he just backstage probably?
I mean,
it looked like he was here, but then he wasn't. So I don't know. We'll just skip Burt Macaroy tonight, I guess.
Yeah. I got way too excited there for a second.
Be able to converse with a little bit better with Burt to figure things out.
He's on a flip phone, right?
He's probably drunk at some bar right now, anyways.
Yeah,
he totally has a flip phone.
Yeah.
He's kind of under investigation for some child molestation or something, or some sexual content on his phone, and he can only have a flip phone.
That was a rumor. That's not Burt Macaroy, Paul.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I was getting confused with Bill Cosby or something. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably Bill Cosby. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm scrolling through your Instagram at the time. That's why I'm like half looking over that way because I have two computer stuff going here. Some artwork, Paul, would look good on both of our walls.
Maybe some gator colors on your wall, Paul.
Blues. No, I mean I'm obsessed with green. Green is like my jam. I have a logo. I'm trying to get a LED logo sign for like this side of the wall, like right here, in this sort of area. I'm taking this thing is gonna be gone eventually. This old TV doesn't even work, and then I need to put like my charging station like over here on this side, and then on this side of the wall I'm gonna put like a PF logo. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I want to get the logo like 3D with acrylic like a white acrylic front, and then put like strip lights behind it so I can control it, or if I just want to go for like one of those like your Shellda Art LED like tube light or a neon LED sign, whatever.
Yeah.
How much that thing run you?
Oh man, I went back and forth with that company for like 2 months to try to get a free one. I ended up getting a discount on it. I want to say it was like $250, I think, because they have different sizes that you can do.
Right.
And I went with a package where you can pick 2 colors, and so I can't change it. I can just change the brightness of it. But I think Paul, we talked about this at some point. I wanted to have multiple sets in here, so like I have a talking head one. And when I'm painting, I can have that shot here with having the logo in the background over there too. That way I can just move around. And now that I've got the C-stand on wheels, it makes it so much easier to move everything.
Have you got sandbags for yours yet?
No sandbags yet.
Oh, so I think you'll be okay with your setup with your light because it's a very light light.
Yeah.
Mine with the big softbox on it. I mean, if I have it extended the way I want it to, you start rolling it around and it just so I have the sandbags. I just gotta get sand or aquarium rock or something to put in the sandbag. So anyway, that's where I'm at. And when I finally get that done, I'll make my video and break down the whole setup and how to put it all together. I kind of like Instagram messaged Shellda here. He's like, I like the idea of a C-stand. Can you tell me how you did it? So I'm trying to break it down part by part, and it looks like it's not too expensive, but then after you buy all these dang parts, it's like next thing you know, you're spending like $200. You're like, what the world?
Yeah.
I still got at some point here finish my magnet mount, ceiling mount stuff. That was my thing. I just found these like big circular magnets at like Home Depot that are just like can hold like 90 pounds, and if you just like screw them in the ceilings where you want to be able to put lights. Then I just have like these stands that have steel bottoms on them, so you could just mount your light and just like put it up there. When you want it down, you just take it down and just throw it up in a different spot. That's giving me my goal to finish here. I just need to actually finish it. So eat the mic, Paul.
Where's the person that usually comments on your shirts this week?
My wife would absolutely never approve of that sign going in my house ever. She
That's
really
a long-standing joke that needs to just die.
She really, really hates eat the mic. Let's just put it that way.
It's an inside joke that doesn't make sense on this channel because you're not on the original Double channel to make that joke work. So,
but yes, let's just put it that way. My wife never wants me to do that one again. All right, so.
So you got some new videos coming up right now, or what?
Yeah,
like 10 more probably this week, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So Friday, I've got one coming out that's kind of different, but I've wanted to do it for a while. I won't, tease it a little bit, but I'm essentially putting out some goals that I want to hit as a content creator, and some creators that I want to eventually meet with in person that people are going to think, yeah, that's crazy. You're never going to do that, which is the exact reason why I wanted to make that video. And then I've got something maybe in the works that I can't really talk about because Amanda's in the comments, something related to her. And then next month I'm traveling, I'm going to the beach, and so there's going to be a ton of like beach vlogs and then art inspired from that too. And then that Coldplay painting will be here in the next few weeks as well. So yeah, I've got a lot of things planned. I'm going back and forth with Nomadic on possibly reviewing some of their new gear. I'm still waiting to get the final. Yeah, they might send me some gear to review, like going up to the beach and like how an artist use it and all that. So I'm hoping I get that stuff in time. So a lot of stuff in the works.
Nomadic,
yeah.
Peter McKinnon backpack Nomadic.
Yeah, I mean they saw the review I did for the new one, and they loved it. And we were going back and forth for a while on it. because they just launched the light gear, I think, or travel light or travel elite something gear.
Yes, the big. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of new stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I want to just say this while everybody's in here, because this is a really good point to make, and it just goes to show, like, it really doesn't matter about your size all the time. I mean, in some certain cases, yes, it does. But I mean, look, you got a 250 subscriber channel already talking to a brand, making a brand deal with, I mean, they're not going to pay him for it, but they're going to give him a bunch of free, really expensive stuff to review on his channel. And he doesn't have a huge channel, but the brand likes his content enough, sees the potential for his channel, and then just likes him as a creator, and is willing to work with him. So it really just goes to show that if you be yourself and put out quality content, you could get brand deals just like he did. And did they reach out to you, or did you reach out to them?
So it was proactive. I reached out to them saying, "Hey, I just did this review on your bag. Like, hope you check it out." And then within like an hour or two, they're like, "We love it. Like, can we feature it at some point?" And then something I learned from Sydney's, Coffee and Creators is be proactive. Reach out to companies and say, "Hey, this is what I can offer you." And so that's what I did. I'm like, "I would love to do this. Here's what I would do. Here's how it would fit into my channel." And I've done that with a few other companies too. Like the resin that I use, it's a company called Art Resin. They sent me some resin that I have a project that I'm working on that'll be for them that's special for that. And that's something I probably wouldn't have done if I didn't go to this Coffee and Creator meetup. I would have thought, I've got to have like 10,000 subscribers before I could even reach out to these companies. But no, like now I'm reaching out to people now saying like, "Hey, get in now."
Gonna start getting Instagram messages like any day now for every single lighting company on Amazon.
Oh gosh, sure. They will bug you to death, and they'll be like, "Hey, I know this is illegal, but can you just buy our product and we'll refund you and give us 5 stars, and then once we see the review posted, we'll pay you back 100% of the money." It's like, and the funny part is some of them are not like small brands. They're like, you're thinking in the back of your mind, like, how in the world are you getting away with this? Amazon would destroy you guys for this. But
anyway. That's usually why they end up like shutting those things down,
making like 5,000 different stores. Yeah,
but I mean, it's just you want to put out your vibe to what your channel is, and people see that already, and that's awesome that they're already seeing it. I saw this comment. I thought I'd just throw this up on the screen. I thought it was kind of funny.
It's so true. Oh my goodness. Do you guys know about the whole story behind that backpack?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a Kickstarter project that in the middle of COVID, of course, it's going to have delays. And I mean, same thing happened with Yoshio's like Orbit. I mean, that by the time they got that thing out and ready to go, like shipping costs got so much more expensive for him.
Yeah.
That he said he was like losing money on that project for the first like bunch of that he was doing, and between all the R&D and all the like extras they put in after they announced the product, all the like Condor Blue parts, and like I'm not surprised it took that long. I'm still waiting for it to come out for sale for real because I kind of want to try that one out. I have the regular Peter McKinnon backpack, and it's too big, it's too heavy.
So I brought that to the creator meetup last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, and I put it side by side because Sydney has the original one, and my goodness, it's a beast compared to this new one. It's so big.
Oh yeah,
it's
super heavy with
6-pound bag with nothing in it.
Yeah,
and like 6 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, but like 6 pounds, my other hex bag that I have, when I put camera stuff in there, it's like 6 pounds.
Yeah,
and I feel like that gets heavy at times. So it's having that McKinnon one, you're just like constantly like, oh man. Yeah. Like when I went to Mexico last time, I think we weighed that thing and it was like 34 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
And I got there and I was just like, okay, well, I don't have the insert to put the small bag in there because it's like when you use that other insert that went in there, it takes up like a big chunk of the bag, and then you can't actually put all the stuff that you would want to put in that section in that bag because it's too small once it's there. So then I was like, I ended up just taking a JanSport bag and just like laying it flat on the back. And then once I got to Mexico, I was like, this, I don't want to carry around a 36-pound bag all the time. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I just brought the JanSport bag and threw my one camera in the thing. And
that was my
like,
backpack of choice.
It's nice that you can bring everything and all your clothes, like it's a big packed luggage without having to like bring an extra suitcase. But you have to be dedicated to wearing that the whole time.
Yeah.
And, even the new one, I think, probably is heavier than it needed to be. I'm guessing still, but
yeah, I think
it's
there's
made out of the same materials, I would imagine. So
it is, yeah, which is great because it's super durable.
Yeah.
But I think there's a few points where they probably could have shaved off or changed on it. But I love it for the top part where I can just put my whole camera setup right in and just take it out super quick and just go instead of having to unzip everything or having that like silly side pouch. I have my microphone right on it and it just literally pick up, shoot, and right back in the bag.
Mm-hmm. That's why I like my Hex bag, is it has a top load. You can just open the top and just pull your camera right out. So you can't put anything else with it. I mean,
no.
I try to squeeze. That's where the power of like the Cuts clothing comes in hand, is that you can put like 4 shirts in there and they don't wrinkle. So like when you get to the place, you just hang it up and
affiliate link below.
But I've gone on like 4 trips now with that backpack, just barely getting clothes in there, and being like, that's kind of annoying. That I want a bag that's like in between still, where I can still put like a little bit more gear. But I'm not a fan of the roll top. Like when Paul brought his bag, I was like, it's nice that you can expand it and add it, but it just like seems like a hassle every time you have to like open it and close it. And, like
we didn't do it very. I don't really do it very often, and I don't know. I really do like my PGY Tech.
And that's the problem. There'll never be a perfect backpack.
I think you need to see my PGY Tech bag. I think you would like that one. Did you see that one when you were down here?
Too big.
Too big?
Too big. Yep. But that's the fun thing about being a content creator too, is you get to keep trying new things and see what works and see what works for you. And I imagine like for you, like if you're doing videos out, like I don't know if you're going outside to showcase like your artwork outside or something. I think that'd be kind of cool, where you take like your art that like to the beach that you finished from the previous time and then like showcase it there.
D-Mogul, I just want to let you know that I'm a die-hard Rode fan boy, and I've always wanted the Rodecaster, and now I really want that new one. That one looks so awesome. Anyway,
I reached out to Tom Buck about getting him on the show too, and I was gonna message him too, like, also sell me your old Rodecaster.
He's not gonna do that, I'm sure, because he's got to do a ton of videos.
Well, he also probably wants to, I'm assuming when you know the inside and out of that thing, you'll probably use it more, but still.
Well, plus his wife also does YouTube. So,
speaking of a significant other doing YouTube, so Amanda had her first video out. She doesn't have her second one out, right?
Yeah, no. It may go out tomorrow. It's been so cool to like be on this side of it, because she. When I first started, like, seeing how much goes into like editing and the thumbnails and all of that, and like now she's like, oh yeah, I'll have the video out tomorrow night, but that's like you've got to edit it still in the thumbnail and all that. But it's been a really cool journey for her too. It's such a creative outlet, because she was shooting a lot of her shots around here today and just setting up the different B-roll shots that she has. And like, oh, okay, like I already see how you're growing from your first video because you saw things that you wanted to change. So it's been really cool to now be able to like sit down and like talk about, hey, what's coming up for you? Or, we like with Epidemic Sounds, like we'll throw songs back and forth to each other. So it's been, I think it's helpful
for that though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe I'll have her use my link, get one of those 12.
There you go. Yeah.
But I've noticed it's elevated my thought process, because like she is scripting out everything and like writing down all of her shots, and that's something that I'm lacking. Like I'll have an idea, I'll throw some bullet points down, but then when I go to do it, like I just miss some of it. And so I'm spending a lot of time up front now, like really doing a lot of pre-production of, okay, what shots do I need, what are the bullet points, what's some words around them. So she's helped me out a ton with that already.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of like for me, I'm in the middle of that a little bit where
Yeah.
when I script stuff out too much, I lose the creativity side of it.
Yeah.
Or I just sound like I've done one video with a teleprompter, and it maybe if I did more it'd be fine, but I just like you become a different person reading a teleprompter to me.
Sure.
And but when I go just like totally wing it style, like then you get to your editing and you're just like,
yeah,
what am I gonna do with this? Like, which can be a good thing because when you just like wing a video and then you have to make a story in the edit, you get more creative, I think, sometimes with how am I going to do this to make a story.
Yeah,
Do I need
spot on.
do I need to go out and shoot more stuff? Do I need to go to story blocks and find a drone shot? Or there's a lot of things like that you might have to do, but like sometimes when you have to like make a story in the edit, that works out well too. So I feel like my NAV video is a classic example of that. Like I had no idea where that video was going. I just started filming random stuff at random times. And then when you get home, you're just like, I don't have a video here. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So
that's also the fun of it for me too, is like some of those travel vlogs is like, I'll just try to capture some things when I first started, and going home be like, oh man, I've got all this footage. What do I do with it? Well, let me go find a cool song to like mash these things to. But now I'm starting to think, okay, what shots do I want to try to get ahead of time? So it's a balance for sure of like just go get some random content, but have some type of thought behind it.
If you're doing like a review video, that's easy. Like you have your talking points and your bulletins that you have to talk about. So like sometimes those are easy videos to do just because you know what to say or like what the parts that you need to say are.
Yeah.
But like it's the when you're trying to add like creativity or like storylines to things or like vlogs, and that's sometimes too like it's hard to. I don't know how Peter Lindgren does this, but you record what you do all day. How do you not look at that footage and be like, this is just boring? Like this is my life and it's not interesting, because you don't ever look at your own life a lot of times as like interesting when you go to the store and back. But people like me and Paul watch one of his videos, are like, oh, that's cool, supermarket. Oh, it's cool. Look at his, like you just get entertained by watching someone else's life, because that's human nature, I think, to be entertained by other people's life. But I don't know how you sit down and edit that video and make it seem not boring.
He's really good at taking, this is going to sound weird, taking himself out of Peter's mind and like putting it in what I want to watch this. He does such a good job with getting like someone who's not him to see, are they going to like this shot? And he mentioned that in one of his vlog videos of, I think he actually went to a supermarket, the one you're talking about. And we all watched it, right? Like, just guys just going to buy whatever he was buying. But if we did that, like no one's going to want to go see me buy milk or buy coffee. But people love that stuff.
And I can see that in your recent video, I can tell in your videos that you're doing now, you're getting used to the vlogging a little bit. Each vlog you do gets a little better. And like this one, I was thinking of like Peter Lindgren saying, don't tell people what you're about to do. Like in your earlier vlogs, you're like, hey, I'm gonna go visit my papa this weekend, and like, and then the newest video vlog just immediately just showed your luggage rolling out the door, and then you popping in to a hotel room with you and Amanda, and it was really good of like just like not telling people what you're doing but showing people. So it was really, I think you're
not that you can't tell someone what you're doing, because you do want to put context sometimes, but like
right.
I struggled like when Peter told me that too, is like I was doing middle of filming a video. I think I was doing like what a vlog looks like on the ZV-E10. One of those videos like that. Like, what's it actually look like to use the product? Because not many people actually do those videos when they're doing reviews. They just talk about it. But I like immediately, and then Peter said something when I was messaging him saying like, I can't remember how he said it, but it was something where I was like totally guilty of it. I was like, yeah, I literally just spent the first 30 seconds of video saying exactly what we're going to do for the whole video. So I like went backwards, redid it. And then after I like refilmed my intro, I was like, this kind of gives me a whole new idea where to go with this video instead of what I was going to do. I was like, make it so that the final answer reveals itself at the end of the video, not at the beginning. And maybe that's hard. Like you go into the video thinking of a clickbait thumbnail, a title, and then that clickbait gets answered at the end of the video, which keeps that like mystery of the video. And it was a fun video to make, and I definitely changed the whole video and refilmed the whole thing, which means I went to IKEA twice.
Which was a 2-day trip, probably.
Yeah, so some of the shots were from the first time I was there, and some of the shots were from when I went back there and reshot stuff. So, but yeah, it's just the whole show not tell is a very good example. But it's hard to do vlogs where you don't want, because you feel like you want to be like, hey guys, welcome to the channel. We're gonna go do this today. Like that's just instinctiveness instead of being like, let's just get into it and go. And
yeah. What I've noticed, especially for someone who's like brand new, is I'm still not crazy comfortable like in public talking to it. I notice it's a crutch for me to say like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, because it's almost like giving myself accountability that I have to go shoot this now. And so it's hard to not tell and just show.
I don't think it ever gets easier to speak into the camera in public. I think it's one of those things where even Kyle and I are like, oh man, I'm gonna look like a dweeb out here.
I even saw Sydney kind of like struggling when we were filming some of his stuff. There's times where people walk by and you can see someone kind of puts the camera down, waits for them to walk by, and then go back up, and it's like he's used to it. I think he does it enough. Josh Yo was the same way when we were hanging out with him at NEB, where he felt a little subconscious putting the camera in front of his face when 600 people are looking at him, but it's something that you just get used to, and you can tell that your vlogs so far have been progressing to make that look easier. So
I'm trying.
You can hide a lot of that in the edit.
That's where like having Amanda, when we went to the last creator meetup, I had this ambitious idea, like I want to walk down that boardwalk. You remember, Kyle, like we're just a ton of people and like, talk to the camera. And as soon as I got there, like I just got cold feet and was like, let's go find a quiet somewhere to sit down and get this footage. And so
some of that's easy, like where you have that other person filming you too. That makes that a lot easier. There's just something stupid weird about someone holding a camera at you or you holding the camera. But it's not always that way. Like when Sydney and I went to Dallas to do that JFK thing, I'm holding the Zapruder camera, or like the replica, in the spot he filmed that whole thing at. And of course, it's a tour site, so people are just kind of constantly walking by. And like there's these people who just hang out there and like that know a lot about it. They just start talking to people and they hope that they're going to get tips at some point. So they're kind of like unofficial tour guides for the thing. So second I pull this camera out, everyone's like, oh, hey, that kid's got a cool camera. And then like I start talking about the Zapruder camera, and all of a sudden everyone's just stopped, arms crossed, just staring at you. Like, this guy's he's got the Zapruder camera. He's going to tell us a history story. And I'm just like totally choking on camera. I'm like, this is the Zapruder camera. It shoots 16 frames a second. And then if you push it down, it's slow-mo, and I don't know what for. And I'm just like, I watched back that video and I'm like, oh, I just blew that whole part.
See, that's where you like stop and be like, hey, here's my business card. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, it all still depends on like, I wasn't ready to be a tour guide in front of 50 people staring at you. I was ready to like have a couple people look at me and have Sydney film me, and it just, even when someone else was on the camera, I still just like shut down. And but obviously you don't see that on people's channels because usually you don't show that. You edit that out.
It's such a weird feeling. Like I travel a lot, and doing it in airports, you get people that just look all sorts of What I've noticed though for me is I'll put like an AirPod in or some type of headset, and people just think, oh, he's on a phone call or he's just doing something completely different, and it kind of helps you get into a zone a little bit of like getting that footage.
Yeah, for me, like airports are just like the worst place on earth to try to vlog because they're just judgments everywhere. No, like that's the thing is like, so you watch all your favorite people and you're like, oh, vlogging comes so easy to them. But that's the power of editing. You don't ever need to show the parts where you're not confident vlogging. So you always see people looking like they're like they can do it all day long, but really they're only showing you what they got that didn't look like they were, cowering into a corner. So sometimes it looks super easy. You see Matty Apoya talking and people are just walking behind him and he could care less. And that comes in time probably, but
that was one of the biggest takeaways. So like I took Casey Neistat's class when I first started this channel, and getting to see him, you know, what some people call the godfather of YouTube, right? Like getting to see him screw up on camera and like having to do multiple takes to get whatever shot he was doing. It was just so comforting to be like, oh, this person who like I looked up to is now screwing up and admitting it and showing us how to overcome that. It just gave me like so much, almost like a comfort or like a safety blanket. Like, oh, I can do this too. I can mess up too, and it's okay.
But you know, someone also related to like you watch a main character in a movie. There's always a part where the main character is always really cool. He's always the main focus, and then you always see that person's shortcomings in a movie, like that character.
Yeah.
Whether it's something that's, you know, there's always that climax right before the climax where something goes wrong or bad. Maybe the character's flaws show up, and like that's what makes those characters more interesting too. So like having those like little bit of flaws in yourself isn't a bad thing to show necessarily. It's just it's not comfortable to show it from you. Like it's hard to like not want to showcase that, but
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw it yet. Matty Hapoya just had Jake Frew, one of my favorite creators, on his podcast, and they just talked about that exact same thing. Where when you watch a movie, people connect more if you see a weakness or see a vulnerability in the character up front. As where if you see this character as like perfect, it's hard to have a connection with that character. And so they were talking about all these. They're talking about YouTube going back to that like kind of vlog style where, you know, when Casey's camera falls over, like people want to see that because it's just a guy filming. It's not a whole production set. So it'll be interesting to see where like YouTube goes in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, I got that's one of those channels I got to watch too. I haven't seen any of his podcast videos yet.
Oh, they're so good.
Is it on his main channel or is it on like a second?
No, it's on a separate channel.
Okay. I haven't. Yeah. I haven't even jumped into watching a lot of YouTube lately because I've been too busy with a lot of other stuff.
So we're getting to that point in the show. This is a great time to segment into embarrassing stories, right? I mean, come on. I mean, you know, this is, you know, we're talking about people dropping cameras and all that fun jazz. So, you know,
a camera camp.
So Shellda, man, what is your one time at camera camp or band camp that you can share? I mean, you've got to have one story that's just, you know, as a new creator out there, there's probably so many fresh in your mind that you can just, you know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've got two that come to mind, so I'll share one, and it's kind of like with the airport. The first like travel vlog that I did, I was so nervous but I got to the point where I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, rip the Band-Aid off, pull the camera out, you know, like had the Joby, like the whole big setup right there. I did this whole like maybe 3-minute segment of just walking through people. And then I like got to the end and I went to go look at it and I never pressed record. So I had to go back and I was too embarrassed at that point to redo it.
Sounds like me when I was in Texas and I accidentally filmed half my video at S&Q. Yeah.
I was going to say, at least you weren't like Kyle and you know, he pressed record, but was recording no audio.
I've done this now too many damn times. No, I filmed a whole like talking segment with you about Sydney's whole thing and like setting up the birthday surprise. I get home and I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. That from that point through the rest of my video at night was all S&Q 120, like no audio, 120 frames per second, slowed down in camera. So this like 5-minute scene of me walking around in the parking lot trying to like finish the video is like a 30-minute scene or whatever it is with no audio. And I was just like, oh, like I can't go back to Texas and film this again. So I think that's why I just
slow-mo shots then.
Yeah.
What was your other story?
It's always, I've done the whole record button too, and that's why I'm glad the new cameras have the big red box around it.
Oh, yeah, me too.
It makes it a lot easier.
My other story, one of my earlier videos, we stayed at a Harry Potter tiny home. So it's literally like it's a 1-bedroom decked out Harry Potter themed place. And I wanted to, it was a gift I gave Amanda, I forgot, for Valentine's Day maybe. I wanted to get like the whole reaction of like getting out of the car and like going in there. And I turned the camera on and I didn't change any settings. And so it's all just blown out. It was such a bright day. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I couldn't use any of the footage because it was just all white. And so like same thing I got back. I was so excited to use it. And then it's like, I was just so excited to even, I just turned it on and pressed record and didn't even think to do anything. So lesson learned.
It's
Orlando
funny that
is
when
had
you're
a
on the
great-
when you're on the go, it's so hard to remember to like do certain things.
Yeah.
Paul and I, when Paul came up to Minnesota like a few months back, we decided we're going to do an A7S III photo video, like a video about photography. So what did I do? I kept all my photos in JPEG and forgot to put them in RAW. So all of the photos were JPEG, and I'm like, well, I can only edit these a little bit, not much, but and we just lost like, I don't know, half the resolution of the photos and whatever. They're going on a video, so they'll probably still look fine, but just stupid things where you just like you get home and you forget, or like I did that ZVE10 and 1080 30 frames a second instead of 4K, and it's just like I feel like we need to come up with like a checklist of things like
it's true. It's helpful.
Yeah. Paul's had some stories when I think Paul did I like was there any more like you always felt like you got your videos and photos when we've gotten together. Yours are always usually problem free.
Mine are usually problem free. I think if anything for me, the biggest things I forget to do is sometimes set my audio levels, which hasn't really been a huge problem for me recently because I mean I just kind of leave I know where everything you learn where your camera is, but when I was initially starting, audio levels were like the biggest. It looked like it was good on the screen, and then I'd record the video, and there'd be like so many peaking moments in it, or when I originally started, autofocus was the huge issue. I'd record an entire video, and the freaking autofocus was terrible because it was a Panasonic, and I thought it was in focus, but then it really wasn't. But there was one time where I filmed my B-roll before I actually was shot my video, and so I was using manual focus. I use a manual focus a lot when I'm doing these B-roll shots. I'll get the focus and then turn the autofocus off so I can move the camera into the frame, and it fades from out of focus to in focus perfectly and all that stuff. And then I'd go to shoot my talking head, and the whole video I was out of focus because I thought autofocus was turned on and it wasn't. And then the biggest thing is
white balance?
like this guy is making fun of me right now for is white balance.
Yeah. Kyle was telling me about that kind of in the pre-show of the whole that B-roll transition. That's something I want to start doing. Is like the first 3 months everything was in auto. And now I'm starting to kind of come down to the shutter settings, aperture settings. I want to get to manual eventually, because for all of my kind of B-roll shots, I'm just tapping the screen as I go by. And so I want to
manual's the easiest. Everyone thinks manual's the hardest, but to me, I have to put more work into aperture priority or shutter priority, because most of the time when you're doing manual, you're leaving most of your settings and changing one. If it's in the right exposure, I generally leave my ISO and then maybe control my shutter speed as my exposure instead. Because or I don't know, or aperture, if you just bring up your aperture a little bit. Yeah. So to me, it's just it's easier going full manual because all you have to do is look at what you need to change and just move usually one dial instead of something.
But I will say that going to your thing, you're saying you're how to touch. I don't think there's anything wrong with touching the screen. I think actually you put it in manual focus and then just touch to focus to get those smooth focusing transitions. Golden. The hard part about that obviously is when you are in manual focus, you just got to make sure it gets back to that same spot and remember that you're in it, or if you're you can start with an out of focus shot and then start pinning a little bit, and because the Sony autofocus is so amazing, then you just tap to focus on what you want, and then it stay like the nice thing about it is not hunting around, right? So when you're doing your B-roll shots where you want full control, you can still use some of the auto functions to get the shot that you want, but you just got to know how to, do it in the manual modes, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like trying to use a mixture of both to get the shot you want. So
that's my goal by the end of the year, is to shoot everything in manual.
When you first handed me your camera in Texas, just like the second I hit one of the buttons, I was like,
so bad.
What's going on here? I'm like looking at the camera. I'm like, I forget that everyone sets up their cameras different with all the buttons. So like even when I was using Sydney's A7S3, he's like, yeah, here, film with this thing. And I started filming. He's like, I don't know any of your button layouts. This is going to be a nightmare. Like, how about I use my camera and I'll just give you my SD card, because whatever's going on here, I can't figure out. So, but yeah, what manual settings for me is just, it's easy to do, and you just force yourself to do it and you'll learn it pretty quickly. So,
speaking of D-Mobile, he put a comment in there earlier about like JPEGs in the Canon R5C. He posted some crazy video of like, or a picture of like undoing a smoke bomb, and what he did to edit that, and if that was a JPEG, it was just mind blowing.
Yeah, JPEGs can look great. I mean, it depends on what platform you're. I mean, honestly, if you're just looking on social media and even on like 4K videos, they're probably still going to look. You wouldn't even notice the difference. But as far as like pushing your edit, you can really only go so far sometimes before you get really breakups and banding and goofy stuff. So
Shellda, what can we expect to see on your channel in the coming months? What are you trying some new things out? Or are you what are you working on currently?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I'll be focusing on is more of the story, more of telling the story throughout, whether it's a painting video or it's a vlog style video, because I want to get more into driving some type of consistent message throughout. We talked about earlier some of the projects like the beach vlogs and some of the Coldplay paintings, but that's the really big focus for me, is taking that story portion to the next level.
Cool. Yeah. And, you guys, we have links down in the description. I know that some of you have already subscribed to Shellda. So support the community, support new creators. Once again, there's no small creator out there. Everybody's got to put the same amount of work in, whether you're small or big. So, feel free to go check out his stuff. He's got some really great stuff. And like I said before, his personality, if you haven't already, couldn't already tell tonight, is pretty cool. So feel free to go check him out. Like, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube-y things. Come on, people. Oh, and doppelganger all the way.
Killing me. I do want to say one thing before we wrap up. I just want to thank both of you for, one, just letting me on the show, but I think more importantly, when I first started, like when I literally had 5 subscribers, I commented, I think, on both of your videos, probably ZV-E10 videos, and instantly, like, you guys both commented back and were helping answer whatever silly questions I had. And so from those 2 interactions, like, look at where we are now. Like, Kyle, I met you in person. We've interacted, through DMs and whatnot, and now 3 or 4 months later, like, here. So thank you to both of you for giving back to the community too.
Yeah, Paul's same thing. He commented on that video, making the power bank thing, or the power station, and we're here a year later. So yeah, YouTube is a fun community, and it's just, you never know where the spider webs kind of go, and
so true.
It's fun to see, and it's cool that you're in an area in Dallas that has just like a bunch of people too. So it'll be exciting to see where that goes too in the next few months. Yeah. So
cool.
I like that event's small too. Like when I was down there telling Sydney, I was like, you should get like Sarah Dici or Dici. I can't remember.
Dici. Yeah.
I was like, you got to get her like at the event too. And he's like,
she's in Dallas.
She shows up, we're gonna have a lot of people. We should just keep it moderate. So but yeah, it's cool that people like Sydney are doing that event as well. And if you guys haven't checked out, you have a video on that. Sydney has a video I think he just put out on that as well, and 2 videos. Okay.
Yeah, that's something that actually I want to do. So every time I go, I want to do a vlog from it because that's going to force me to improve that same exact video every time, and it's like that'll help me build that story and kind of keep building that craft.
And you make the video different every time too. And
yeah,
like mine could have easily been about the creator aspect of that, but I made mine more about surprising Sydney with a cake. So like you could change that video 100 different ways. So yeah, if you want to see that too, I have that on my channel as well.
Before we wrap up, one thing, when Sydney walked in, he was about to do the giveaway last weekend. I walked up and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm really sorry we don't have a sash or a birthday cake for you this time, and he lost it.
No coffee cake and creators.
Yeah.
No DeLoreans. Come on, man. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us on such a late notice too. I know that Kyle and I were like talking about it, and we're like, Kyle's like, hey, you think we should ask Shellda? I'm like, well, I'm sure. We were actually talking about it the other day, so he's all game. So let's just do it, So,
yeah, thank you. I appreciate this. It was great.
Yeah,
absolutely. And just like Shellda, you put your mind to it, you guys can accomplish anything. So like, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube things. We'll be back here hopefully next week at the same time. We've talked about possibly doing it bi-weekly in the future, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what guests we don't have a guest lined up yet. We have a lot of guests that say they want to come on.
It's a very busy time of the year for YouTubers right now, and I have a lot of people that said they want to do it, but they just haven't confirmed on our calendar yet. So it's we might go bi-weekly just so we can space out and make sure that we have things booked the way we want to moving forward. So,
but we'll see. But anyway, thank you, Shellda. Do all the fun YouTube things, and you guys know that we all will see you in the future.